Welcome back to Crafts by Susie Cardmaker. Today we're going to continue on our House Mouse series. We are going to be using the stamp So Big. I just received my fuse tools, so we're going to make a shaker card this time. I'm going to start with my card base so that I can figure out where I want to place all my elements and get them situated. I'm making an A2 size card. I'm using some Recollections green out of the Desert Jewel collection. It's a really pretty olive green. And we're getting that all scored up. And then we're going to take a piece of Happy Birthday paper. It's out of a big thing of loose paper I got from Michael's. It's really thin, so it's not really good for a whole lot else. So I'm going to try and get that used up. Some of them are really pretty and interesting, but I haven't been at this a whole long time. I've been at it probably 2 years making cards just for friends and family. And I just started this YouTube channel and I've really been inconsistent because I really hate doing voiceovers. I feel like I never know what to say, what to do. So I've made myself a promise that I'm going to stay consistent with this now, and I'm going to make this my full-time hobby. As I am a retired medic and I don't have anything else to do. And I really love card making. So there's our stamp, our house mouse stamp. Like I said, he's called So Big. I've stamped him out on some Nina Solar White 80 pound. I've grabbed a nesting circle so I can figure out where I want to place my shaker element. And we're getting everything laid out so that I know exactly where each piece will go as we move along. Now I am using a plastic paper sleeve pocket thing and my fuse tool to make my pocket for my sequins. This is the first time I've used it. It was a little complicated. You got to remember to make sure that you seal all the holes, and you also got to remember to leave a hole big enough to get your sequins in. That gave me a little grief, and then I figured out, paper funnel. You just dump them straight down in. Figuring out how to seal it completely and make sure it's sealed. You should probably do that before you put the glitter in. I had glitter everywhere. But once we get our pocket made and get it filled with sequins, various sequins from just mostly like from Joann's, Michael's, things like that, I picked up sequins. And once we get our pocket completely filled with glitter and then resealed, including the little holes that the glitter slid out, I filled it with sequins matching the colors of my papers, some white, some orange, a little bit of red, green, and then some green extra fine glitter, which if I did the same card over again, I would not use the green glitter. It just kind of gave the pocket like a dirty look. It looked kind of dirty. So now we're going to start coloring our house mouse. I'm going to use Copics to color this. I used the warm grays, and mostly warm grays and earth tones. I like to, when I color with Copics, I like to put in my shadows first and work from dark to light and then back to dark and back to light if I need to. So I'll list all the colors down below along with all the supplies that I have used. You'll find that I have sped a lot of this video up. I didn't want it to be too long, and I'm still working on my techniques and how to make videos without them being an hour and a half long. And so just bear with me. I'm hoping, I'm really working at it very hard to get better at that. So once I get my mouse all colored and I put a little ground in there for him to stand on, because we can't have him just floating in the air. Then I fussy cut it out. Didn't take me too long. House mouse stamps. I haven't found dies for them, so I don't believe there are any. But I don't mind fussy cutting. I kind of like it. It's relaxing. So I'll get him all fussy cut out, and then I will take a black marker and go around the edges so that none of the white shows on the edges. Just makes it look more finished. So once I get it all trimmed out and the ground cut away the way I want it to look, we're going to start putting our card together. I'm going to take the Happy Birthday paper and we're going to go around the edge with some Spiced Marmalade Distress ink. This will give it a wide orange border all the way around the paper. Then we're going to lay the paper where we want it to be in the end on our card base and place our nesting circle on there and run them through our Big Shot to cut the circles for our shaker pocket. I then placed foam tape all over the back of our Happy Birthday paper and took some score tape and went around the circle on our card base so we can secure our sequin pocket to our card and to the front of our card. Once we get all the score tape on there and peel the backing off, we're going to go ahead and place our shaker element on our card and then take the backing off of the Happy Birthday piece and place that on our card, and then we're going to start working on our sentiment. Okay, we're going to take just a scrap of white paper and use our powder tool on it. That'll keep any stray embossing powder from sticking to it. Get out our Versa Mark ink, ink up our sentiment, which comes from Simon Says Stamps Birthday Bit Celebration. And we're going to stamp Let's Celebrate. Give it a second, make sure that the ink transfers good. And then we're going to slide it on our craft mat and sprinkle some Recollections embossing powder in the color Carnelian. It's a really pretty orange. It looks really dark when you first put it on, but once you heat it up, it's a really pretty, almost coppery orange. Now we're going to heat that with our heating tool until it starts to turn shiny. And you can tell when it's heated up enough. The powdery look goes away and it gets a real nice glossy shine to it. And then I heat the back side of the paper for just a second, just to help with the warping. It kind of straightens it out a little. So then I took some Peacock Feathers Distress ink and I went over the whole piece. I didn't want it to be stark white on the card. I thought it was just a little too white. So I covered the whole thing in Distress ink. And then I'll trim it down to the length that I want. So not only will I trim the length, but also trim the height. It's a little too wide for where I want it to go. So we're going to trim a little bit off the top. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of a little bit out of frame here. So it ended up being about a 1/2 inch high. And I'm going to cut some flag ends into it. So then it ends up being about 3 1/4 inches long. And I'm just going to secure it flat using my ATG gun right onto my card. So now we're going to get our little housey mousey ready to go on our card. Hit the back of it with some Ranger Multimedia Matte and stick it to the front of our card where we want it. I'm going to have it sitting right on the Let's Celebrate, and his hat will go up into the sequin area. just going to hold him into place for a minute, give him a minute to set. Next, we're going to get out our clear Wink of Stella and go over that party hat, because party hats should be sparkly and happy. Then we're going to open up our card and put a sentiment on the inside also. My sentiments all come from Simon Says Stamps, from the Birthday Bits, Birthday Celebration, and Happy and Smile sets. And I'm going to stamp it using some VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And we're inking it up real good. And then I'm going to go over it with my black Wink of Stella. And that'll give the sentiment a little bit of shimmer on the inside. It's birthday card. Birthday cards are supposed to be happy and shimmery and pretty. And this is kind of one of the first times I've ever used my black Wink of Stella, but I like the effect it left. It ended up looking really pretty when I was done. So after we finish up with the sentiment on the inside, we're going to give it a couple minutes to dry, and then we're going to close the card, and we are going to take the little pom-pom on top of his hat, and we're going to hit it with some peacock stickles, and that will complete the card. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something, because I sure did. And that's the goal in life, to learn something new every day. So have a great day, and we'll see you next time.